Hello, everybody, and welcome to Back Issues. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
Batman has returned to this show. Bad Issues is no more. We just released the last episode of Bad Issues. Unless the algorithm favors us allowing to make more shows on this channel, in which case, maybe Bad Issues will return someday. In the meantime,
yeah.
Batman is back on Back Issues. Worryable.
It's not like we're not going to do any more Batman stories.
No,
Oh, no,
he just won't get his own set.
He doesn't have his own set that looks just like this one, but with more Batman stuff. We're talking about Batman's Sword of Azrael, which is written by Denny O'Neil with art by Joe Quesada. This is from 1993, and it introduces Azrael into the Bat mythos. There are a lot of like moments that, you know, with history, you look back and you go like, that's when they ruined something. Or like, oh yeah, that's where it all went wrong. With Batman, this is one of those moments. It's something that looks really neat, and you think it's interesting because it's new, and then time, unfortunately, makes fools of us all.
Now, you said this introduces Azrael, like, as his own character, but, like, after he was already Batman.
No.
Like, before he became
Yeah,
Batman.
he becomes Batman after this. Because
Yep.
this is where you hear
This
his
is the first
friggin'
time you
name.
see Azrael.
Yeah. He evolves into.
He
So you
becomes-
know where this is going.
Exactly.
He's going to become Batman, and then he's.
And then everything's going to go bad. This is the introduction of that character, and thus the further expansion of the Bat family. And then, like, DC, it's so funny, because, like, they'll reintroduce Azrael so far, you know, whenever they reboot the universe. And it, like...
Well, because he's such a classic character.
Right, from 1993. And everyone from 1993 goes, yeah! They read the first issue, and then they go, okay, and then they never buy it again, and then they don't know what to do with him anymore.
I remember this being cooler. Wasn't this cooler?
Like, yeah, when
Damn
you
it,
were
this
7.
sucks.
That being said, this book looks so great.
The cover looks kind of awesome.
Yeah, every cover is awesome. And it's because it's done by Joe Quesada, soon to be editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics. It's just such a dope bunch of stuff. And it's funny because the closer you look at Azrael, like, he continues to be dope looking, but also makes no sense. And it's just kind of like, what? Like, you did that because it looks awesome, and because you had Joe Quesada. That's
Yeah.
the only reason.
This is the 90s, man.
That's right. Yeah, why not?
Spawn!
Yeah, DC is like, we got to get in on that Spawn action.
Yeah, I don't care if it's like possible for a body to like take on that shape. It
Right.
looks cool.
Yeah, or be enveloped in fire at all times. So the story opens and Azrael's here, and he's got this fire sword, and he's in a penthouse apartment, and he's doing his little phantasm routine where he's like shouting epithets at this guy. He's like, "You vengeance is here, you're gonna die, I'm a badass, I'm Azrael." I don't know if you know this. I know you do, because, well, plot-wise, you know who I am, but in that case, I'm gonna kill you anyway. Shut up, I'm gonna kill you. And the guy's just like, no. And Azrael's like, what?
You're here with a flaming sword. I've got guns, man.
Yeah. So then he shoots Azrael like 4 or 5 times in the chest, and he's like, oh, I'm dying.
I'm dying like an asshole.
Right.
Well, you didn't plan on this?
Well,
Is he a time traveler?
No, he thinks he's got like good body armor on, but he don't.
Was he wearing hockey pads?
He's not wearing hockey pads. And then slashes out with his fire sword, cuts his eye, gets a cool looking distinctive scar, now he's a Batman villain.
Well, now he has a nemesis.
Exactly. Well, this Azrael doesn't have a nemesis for very long. So he slashes him and then like rolls out of the window
Right.
and falls into the Gotham Founders Day parade.
Well, let's not forget the fact that as he's falling out the window, he gets shot a few more times based on that image.
So he's been shot like seven times.
7 or 8 times.
Yeah, okay.
I mean,
So he's
he's
going to
dead.
die.
he takes 4 bullets out the window. He took at least 3 bullets to the chest before that.
Yeah.
And that was when he was, when his armor was new. So yeah, he's dead.
In
Or
the
at
real
least
world.
he should be dead.
Yeah.
So he
Now,
falls.
every shot missed a vital organ.
It
Yeah,
did
they all
not.
went in between.
Oh no, it hit every vital organ. He's bleeding everywhere. But the strength of will of this man.
Oh.
He somehow manages to make it far enough to advance the plot and then dies. He falls in the middle of the Founders Day parade, and they make a point of saying, the newscasters, because no Batman story that wants to be epic is complete without newscasters to punctuate what's going on. Thankfully, they don't carry on throughout the story. They're just here for now.
Okay.
But they basically make a point of saying there's about 2 million people at this parade.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm like, 2 million people. This is 100% more than the Million Man March for the Founders Day Parade of Gotham City. Why, if you lived in Gotham, would you go outside at all, much less in a major crowd? Well,
look at all the cool things they have.
they got some cool people dressed up and floats and whatnot.
A
They got-
weird balloon. You've got like Mardi Gras people. There's probably beads everywhere.
Yeah.
Naturally, yeah. So that means some topless things are happening. In any event, the Azrael character, he steals a horse and then rides it out of there.
I'm sorry, he steals a horse?
Oh, it's equipped for riding. Okay. I was
Naturally.
like, how does he like ride this random horse? But no, it's.
No, it's equipped for. Yeah.
Was someone on it? Does he like throw a guy off?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. While bleeding from 7 holes.
Well, he was falling, so he used the downward momentum to aid him in his.
Oh, he falls onto the horse?
Well, he falls on, like, kicking the guy off the horse.
Yeah, well, he
Oh, I
falls,
see.
he grabs like a tapestry and then swings from there into the guy, onto the horse.
Oh, that's kind of
rides the house
cool.
out.
He's
Yeah.
got some skills.
Naturally, yeah. He looks like a cool character. He's supposed to have some kind of skill.
Yeah, okay. I gotcha.
So he rides away, and then he leaves and ends up on the doorstep of this dork in big glasses and long blonde hair. And it turns out this dork is his son. And he's like, "Son, you gotta help me, I'm dying." And he's like, "What, Dad? Why are you dressed like a crazy knight?" So,
I told you it was my LARP weekend.
right, things went horribly awry. "You can't bring me to the doctors. No one must know of Azrael." He's like, "Azrael, what's that?" He's like, "That's me, you idiot. Anyway, shut up. You gotta abandon my body so it'll be found by strangers and not in this outfit. And then you gotta go and open the package that I left with you. I left you a package earlier. So you gotta open that."
I knew I was going to die,
Right?
so I left you that package.
So in any case, he's like, "I left you this package. You gotta open it. And then follow the clues that the package will reveal. I die now. Goodbye." And then he dies. Like, I mean, he says I failed, but, in any case, he dies.
Wait, so the original Azrael
Yeah.
dies.
Straight up. Yeah.
Okay.
First 3 pages.
Okay.
Because there's always been an Azrael or whatever.
Bingo. Of course. I mean, it's like he looks like a Knight Templar.
Yeah.
So he's been around since the Templars.
Right.
Not his dad. The legacy of Azrael.
Yeah,
Exactly.
The mantle of the Azrael.
Precisely.
Oh, God. Is this like Assassin's Creed? It just gets passed down?
Straight up
passed down?
Assassin's Creed, but like, a good
Before Assassin's Creed
good
was
like
invented.
12, 13 years before Assassin's Creed.
Well, except the Templars were the bad guys, right?
Yes.
Assassin's Creed, or not the assassins.
They were not the assassins.
Correct.
So, yeah, it's like the anti-Assassin's Creed. So then we cut to Batman because of the Batman book. And
Oh, yeah, he's in this, right?
right? So we're in Wayne Manor, and Batman is talking to Alfred. And Alfred's like fun, and Alfred plays a keyer role in this than normal.
Okay.
He actually does stuff. The Batman's talking about the events of what happened, secondhand because he wasn't there.
He heard
And
about.
He's catching up because
He's watching that reporter.
well, naturally, it's like, okay, Alfred, set me up with that one.
She's got big hair. I like it.
I like it. It's the 90s. The fact is, the commotion caused by Azrael created a panic, and several people died in the stampede.
Oh.
And so Batman wants to know who's responsible so he can punch him in the face. So Batman is like, they recovered a body. They recovered this piece of armor. It's just
If you could call it that.
yeah. Well, it's a Kevlar vest or something. But he says like it's riddled with holes, so clearly it didn't do its job.
Right.
So I gotta go figure this out. So Batman's on the case.
okay.
Man, he's going to
That didn't
feel
take
real
long.
bad when he's found out he's dead. It's like, well, I got to punch a dead guy now.
Yeah.
I gotta punch this corpse. I would.
Case closed. The penthouse apartment from which Azrael fell. The Angel. They call everyone in the news, the reports, Batman called him the Angel because it was like this beautiful creature that fell from the sky.
Okay.
But he says the Angel fell from this apartment, and it belongs to a guy who has a history trafficking arms and ammunition, particularly Teflon-coated bullets, the kind that would pass easily through the kind of armor that Azrael was wearing. Azrael's son arranges for his dad to be taken care of. People came and took care of it for him.
Were they like all knights in armor?
No, they're just dudes in suits. And then he basically packs a bag and he takes a plane and he goes to a small place in Switzerland where he is met by a diminutive troll man named Nomos.
What?
Straight up, there's a troll in this book, and his name is Nomos. And I remember as a kid, like I loved the covers for this, but when I was a kid, I opened the first page, I'm like, I don't see Batman a lot, and I threw it away. I didn't throw the book away, I just threw it to the side.
Right.
But when I picked up Nightfall, and I'm reading that story, and I'm reading Batman,
Because Batman's actually in that book.
they keep referring to the origins of Azrael,
Right.
and in every flashback, there's a troll in it, and I'm like, this must be like an epic, long story that involves like unicorns and exotic creatures. And,
Right. All the
beginning
known
Magic Man.
creatures.
Yeah, right. No.
Just the one
There's
troll.
one troll, and it's in this book, and he works for the Order of Saint Dumas, which is, of course, the sacred order of Azrael's. What are you complaining about?
Like, I just hear Saint Dumas, and I'm thinking like, oh, like he's a troll man, like he's got to be a gargoyle or some sort of hunchback from Notre Dame.
He doesn't even, they don't explain it. He doesn't explain like I'm thousands of years old and I was there. I stabbed Christ himself. Like no, there's no reference to him.
Right. There's no explanation for why there's a friggin' troll in this
He
book.
could just be
No.
ugly.
Right. He could just be a gross man and
He's got trollism.
right. It's a known condition. You should look it up. That being said, he also has character because, of course, like you know, if you're gonna create a troll character, he's got to be really frustrating to read. So his dialogue is interrupted constantly with this "nyeh" sound effect that he makes in between every sentence.
Oh, that's not gonna get old.
It gets old immediately, and I tried very hard to train my brain to just ignore the "nyehs,"
Right.
but you can't because literally you first meet him because I'm Nomos, yeah. And then Azrael meets up with him, or who would become Azrael meets up with him, and he's like, Nomos explains to him like, we need to get you set up with the system, yeah. And Azrael's like, oh, system? You mean like computers? Because I was a college student and I was studying computer science. He goes, computers? Yeah, yeah, yeah. 3 years in a row? You're really pushing it, Denny. But
What's his name?
oh, Nomos.
Nomos. At least he doesn't say Nomos.
He doesn't speak in the third person. Yeah, Nomos will help you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like,
Nomos.
yeah, it's not a Star Wars comic, but it might as well be.
Snarf.
Yeah. he's
Oh,
not
Nomos,
Snarf.
could you shut up for like 5 minutes?
Oh, pure Nomos. No one likes Nomos.
No, there's no way Nomos sounds like that. Look at him. He looks like an Arthurian mystical beast.
Yeah.
He looks
okay.
like Pip the Troll.
No, Pip the Troll has like it looks like a person.
He has like hooves and shit, doesn't he?
Pip the Troll looks like Mr. Tumnus. This guy looks like a cool action figure for a cartoon series that only had half a season and only like a few 40-year-old men remember it. That's what Nomos looks like. So Nomos is aided by this like giant dude named Heinrich, who at Nomos' request just backhands this poor kid like constantly. And he's like, "Why are you making him hit me so much?" And he's like, "Does that hurt? Does that suck? You don't like that, do you?" And he's like, "No, I don't."
No.
Why
it's
would anyone
awful.
like this?
He's like, "Maybe you want to punch him back." He's like, "Not really. He's gonna kick my ass. It's gigantic."
Look at him, he's huge.
Yeah.
I also like the fact that Heinrich is wearing mittens and he's still slapping this guy around.
Yeah, it's cold.
Instead of a whack, it's like a hump.
Yeah, exactly. Well, his hands have silencers on. Nomos taunts the young Azrael by being like, "Your father was a failure and a liar," and everything like that. So he's like, "I'm prepping you. I'm
toughening you
I'm
up.
toughening you up to become Azrael." You see.
Yeah.
So then.
I know my father was a liar. He never told me the truth
Yeah,
at
you
all.
kidding me? He showed up with 18 bullets in his chest, bleeding out in a friggin' LARPing costume. Lying is the least of his offenses, and I am fully well aware of them. Thank you.
I was trying to make you angry so you'd strike me back, but
Yeah.
you're not baiting
No.
this.
I'm angry by the situation. I also know that like getting really agitated about it is not going to help me. I'm in a foreign country. I don't know this guy, and I need a place to stay.
Oh my god, you have way too level ahead to become Azrael.
Exactly.
We need a new person.
No, we got to get you into the system quick, make it crazy. Batman investigates the apartment for Leha, and he's like, okay, so bullets must have flown out of here. He found that like there was, he actually is a detective. He checks the windows, and the windows have new like rubber caulking around them. And he's like, oh, these were recently put in. Maybe bullets were sprayed through them. Let me check like the adjacent walls and stuff and see. And he found like a bent bullet.
Oh, like a slug?
Yeah. So he retrieves that and leaves, and then he's checking it out at the cave, and Alfred's like, I figured you'd want to stay and like listen to what Leha had to say. He's like, oh, I'm there. And Alfred's like, what? And it turns out that Batman has this like this laser microphone that is on an adjacent building across the street, and it's fired at the window, which is picking up vibrations that will translate those vibrations into text that are then translated into a voice modulator that will record onto a tape for him what is being said.
That is intricate.
So intricate. I'm like, why don't you just take a tape recorder and push it up against the glass?
Like, why does it turn into
why
text?
I bugged the room.
Only to turn
Yeah,
it back
I
into
bugged the
audio.
room. Why must it be this intricate? I don't know. Probably to like show off Batman's wealth and
Right.
I have to assume it gives credence to like the crazy technology that Azrael's going to get later in the book.
No.
No, it's just Batman's high tech right now
Batman's
because it's
cool.
1993 and computers.
Right. So of
I'm
course,
telling you, these computers, they're going to be big.
They're big.
We got to put it in Batman, shove it all in there. All
I
that.
mean, they're not
have
wrong.
It, have it translate the audio from one format into another and then back into audio.
Yeah.
The fuck?
Yeah, thanks. No, you're not wrong to be frustrated. So Batman, of course, discovers the slug had Teflon in it, so he's like, okay, I got it.
Ah, that's where he finds
Cool.
out about Teflon. Okay.
So then Nomos is like, all right, I got no patience for you and your level-headedness. So he shows him this medallion. And the medallion is the representation of the Order of Saint Dumas. And he's like, when
It's pronounced dumbass.
You've
Wow.
got the job.
Great reference. Almost as old as this book. When I show you this medallion, it will unlock hidden memories that hopefully your dad implanted in you from when you were a child.
What?
Yeah. No, that like he's got programming.
Okay.
It's the system.
He's a
Yeah.
sleeper agent.
Yeah.
So we don't have to go through a long, expensive training process.
No.
I'm just going to turn you on.
Yes.
You know what? I
Boom.
was
Now you
hoping.
can- now
I
you
was
can be-
hoping the slaps would do it. Fine, medallion.
Right.
I don't know why I
Whatever.
don't start with a medallion every time.
Right, because the medallion's the one thing that actually unlocks like skills and stuff, and it's the whole like Trojan horse that his dad created in the first place. I
Right.
don't know why I even keep Heinrich
No,
around.
I just like to have him slap you.
It-
And
it-
once I unlock your skills and stuff, I won't be able to because you'll stop me.
Right.
So this is my only chance to
Look, I'm
my
a troll man.
jollies.
I can't go into town.
Yeah.
I can't pay Heinrich.
we got no TV here.
The only thing I'm able to pay him in is like once in a while he gets to rough somebody in.
Right.
He really likes that.
Yeah, and so do I.
And I don't mind it.
And when it happens, I jump up and down and clap my hands and talk about myself in the third person. I go, Nomo's like, Nomo's like. That does not happen. None of those things happen. Instead,
They're a part of the headcanon now.
Batman basically like checks out the area where the angel fell and must have ended up. And he discovers a new padlock on an old door that he then picks. And it's fun because he talks about how, he's like, it never hurts to check and test my lock-picking skills. First try, all right. And you're like,
Yeah.
hey, Batman's a character. He's actually like,
Yeah.
he has levity.
Yeah.
So when he gets down there, he finds this big honking sword with a special medallion in the hilt, and it's friggin' Azrael's sword, which, Azrael told his son to discard.
Wait,
To discard it.
Yeah.
he had his sword on him?
Well,
Wouldn't
yeah.
the medallion have already triggered those memories then?
No, he didn't look at it too hard, I guess. It's identical to the medallion that Nomos shows him. Maybe the Nomos medallion has like special magic property or something.
And this
In
is
any-
just a cheap knockoff.
It looks
Batman
it's
has.
identical. And the sword is also important too.
Right.
So, but anyway, so Nomos shows Azrael.
As Batman's finding the one in the basement
Yeah, so we're
place.
paralleling
with-
that.
yes.
So,
it's very
and-
cinematic.
Right? And it unlocks the system and causes him to basically go insane.
Sweet.
He descends into madness.
That's definitely a descent into madness
And-
depicted on that page.
Yeah, no, it's true. And fire and
Madness
laughter.
and fire, yeah.
And then Heinrich goes to attack him under the request of Nomos, and Azrael immediately takes him down.
Right. I guess the reason he hasn't hit him before is so you can prove
Showcase that he
that
has
the
the-
medallion worked.
Yeah.
It's the before and after. Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, so Nomos like, nice, good, your dad didn't screw up on something. Way to go.
he did die though.
He
like a
did
bitch.
die like a bitch. So then Azrael is now like, wait, so like I'm a tough guy now? That's a line.
I'm a tough guy now.
Yeah. And then Nomos says, no, you're still fat and flabby, but the mountain will take care of that. And I guess the idea is that like they're gonna train in the mountains and toughen them up. So it's like now I got all the skills, but I need like the body to match it.
Right. Yeah. I got to pull a Rocky 5 and go into Rocky 4 and go into the snow and lift logs and crap.
Yeah.
We need you to become Batman, but like much faster than Batman became Batman.
Yes.
Is
Fire Batman.
I'm a tough guy now better or worse than I know kung fu?
it's much worse than 9/11.
Especially if you do it where like it's the pull-ups and you're like, I'm a tough guy now.
Yeah. Thankfully, that's madness
Why?
of your own variety. So basically,
I
Batman
feel
has...
like I looked at the medallion.
So Batman calls Oracle and he's like, give me the short version of what this whole thing is about. So she explains that the Order of St. Dumas splintered off of the Knights Templar. Basically, that like this guy who was a knight named Dumas was like a dick and less extreme and more extreme than the previous order. So he splintered off, made his own sect.
Yeah.
And they basically just pillaged villages and took their money and then like got fat off their wealth. Like they're just a bunch of pirate assholes.
Oh.
So St. Dumas sucks.
Right. Except they're also like, it's a sacred religious themed order of knights. And Azrael is their basically totem of vengeance. Someone gets the honor of becoming the Azrael of St. Dumas. And they are a instrument of vengeance that is wielded by the order, of which there are only like 18 left.
Okay. So when they, in their like pillaging and stealing, when one of them happens to get killed or injured in that process, then they send Azrael out to
Yes.
avenge.
Right. Or if anyone like betrays them.
Right.
Or pisses them off. Or,
Right.
you know.
Yeesh.
I
Yeah.
assumed Azrael was the one who was taking everything. Be like, congratulations, you're the person of vengeance. Now get our vengeance by stealing everything from them.
No, he's just
Vengeance from the world.
right. No, he's just a murderer.
Yeah.
He's an assassin.
He's an
if
assassin
you will, who has a very special creed.
for bad guys.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do they have like a mission or a goal beyond just being wealthy and powerful?
Like something they've done since the beginning of time, something they need to prevent or
some
protect.
purpose for them to continue,
Yeah.
or are they just the mob?
In this, they are a religious mob.
Oh, so they
Okay.
believe in God,
Yeah.
but also they steal stuff.
Yes, they believe in God and also act in the opposite of all of his lessons.
Well,
Right.
no, because everyone I'm stealing from are infidels and heretics.
Right, because
Nope.
they're not us.
Yeah, only because they're not them.
Exactly.
But there's no religious reason for doing it.
Right. That's weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's weird and totally made up and hokey. In the original origin, I'm sure they've added more.
Yeah, it made it
but
make a little
from
more
this through Night's End, nope.
Yeah, if they were like stealing back religious artifacts,
Yeah.
Right. And then they
that would make sense.
Or they were trying to bring about the apocalypse
Yeah.
or something.
because like
No.
Azrael is gonna like slew all the sinners with his flaming sword. I don't know.
No.
No.
No. They're just another clandestine organization from the shadows that has a colorful avatar
Right.
who fights Batman.
Right. Okay.
Not unlike the Court of Owls. I know they have a Talon who fights Batman.
Yeah.
Or any other allegory thereof.
Like the entire League of Shadows.
Yeah. Except
Yes.
the League of Shadows doesn't have like a guy.
No, they're just like it's the entire League of Shadows.
Except for Ra's al Ghul, but he rarely gets involved. Anyway, so they're Nomos and Azrael are like taking a hike through the mountains of Switzerland, and Nomos explains the mission statement of Azrael, where he's like, you are the avenging angel of the Order of Saint Dumas. Like your father was Azrael, his father, and so forth.
I see.
All the way back to the Templars.
Where's his mom?
Who cares? Irrelevant.
Ah.
Yep.
I
Like-
guess she's dead or whatever.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
We have to assume she's dead because she doesn't appear, nor does...
Is she referenced
No.
or yeah.
No.
Well, she's unimportant according to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's not part of this club. So Oracle gets a list of basically people who are all in the Order, or at least financially connected to the Order, which is to say they are in the
She
Order.
follows the money.
And Batman is on his mission to stop Leha, because Leha, remember him?
Yeah.
He was the weapons stealer who is going to be trafficking in these like massive, crazy weapons, the Teflon coated
The
bullets.
Teflon bullets, yeah.
Yeah, and massive weapons of mass destruction that are like being
Oh.
traded. And so Batman and Alfred both go to Switzerland to deal with it. Now I love that Batman brings Alfred, because Batman needs someone to talk to.
Right, and there's no Robin.
Otherwise, I would talk to myself.
around.
And there is a Robin. I don't know why he's not in this
He's
book.
busy or
But he's
something.
busy. There's also a weird... we didn't get a chance to talk about this. The fact that, like, for no reason at all, only Batman gets a square speech bubble. Everyone else in the book gets regular speech bubbles. So Leha and his associate converge with Batman and Alfred, who are in the helicopter. Like, Leha's on the mountains with a bazooka. Batman and Alfred are in the helicopter. Azrael, Nomos, and Heinrich are in the little chateau, and it's all coming together. So Leha shoots a bazooka at the house, which blows up and throws off the helicopter. Leha, of course, Leha is part of the Saint Dumas order.
I see.
So he knew. Yeah, you don't really. You're just kind of like, what's Leha doing here? And then it's revealed that Leha actually is a member of the Order of Saint Dumas. He was their treasurer, and then he betrayed them. He knew what kind of armor Azrael would wear, so he busted out the Teflon-coated bullets and shot him. That's why he was so confident when he was fighting him. And in fact, the Order knew that Leha had betrayed them, and that's why Azrael was sent to get him in the first place.
Right.
But they didn't know about the Teflon.
No.
Right.
Okay.
They didn't count
Well, they didn't count
Teflon.
on it. I think they counted on Azrael being, like,
Nobody counts
unkillable.
on Teflon. Yeah.
That's right.
Well, we know he has Teflon bullets, but, like, we really don't like this Azrael. Just send him anyway.
There's only one Azrael.
That's why you should never...
Every generation.
You should never, like, just let yourself be shot.
Right.
Because you don't know what's going to come out of the friggin' gun.
That's right.
If you're Superman, it might be kryptonite bullets.
Yeah,
if
no
you're
matter what.
Anyone else, it might be armor-piercing bullets. Like, if you got the
move.
skills, just move.
Yeah.
Don't be like, aha, you can't do anything to me. You don't know that.
So Batman rigs up some snowshoes for himself and Alfred, and they make their way into the mountain while we flash to Leha and his guy, and those two also get caught in an avalanche, because they were boarding a chopper themselves, and then the avalanche from the bazooka, caused an avalanche. They barely managed to get away, and as they are evading death, Leha thinks he sees a vision in the snow, a face that belongs to a character named Biss, or Beast. It's B-I-I-S. So, and it's a made-up word. So, but Biss appears before Leha. What does this mean? It's all made up for this book, so don't be surprised if you don't know what the hell's going on. So,
yeah, I have no idea.
Essentially, Leha is...
We're introducing a new friggin' thing in the middle of this book.
But it's all connected to the Saint Dumas thing,
Right.
which we also invented for this book.
Right, we're learning a lot
Azrael
about...
Yeah, we're getting a
was
lot
an actual, like, name.
Yeah, right.
An archetype.
Yes.
So I'm guessing it's this guy with the horns.
Oh, yeah, that's Biss.
So they're just like, boom, boom, boom. We are doing this Azrael thing for a while. We're going to introduce all this stuff right now.
Here's the thing that's really
weird
weird
about
about that.
use it later.
No. No.
Then what is it for?
I was reading...
Just to create Azrael.
Yeah, because I read an interview with Denny O'Neil, and he was like, I just needed to make a bad guy for Batman to fight. And normally we would have done a Legends of the Dark Knight story.
Why'd you make all this shit around it?
Because he didn't want to be bored. It's like, I'm just world building. I'm making neat stuff.
I finally got to be creative for once.
He's very creative. Anyway, but it's weird that there's so much world building because
in like 2 issues
there
or 3 issues.
Because there was no plan
Yeah.
to make Azrael important.
Yeah. Okay.
Least of all, replace Batman. But they did
It's more
that.
like
But then they
he
saw
was the
how cool he
guy
looked.
who had
Yes.
been created right before they decided to fuck with Batman.
Yeah. Oh, and I love it because they create Azrael, and he's awesome looking, and everybody falls in love with him, and he's super cool, and he does slaughter people, but let's make him a good guy because he looks awesome and the people respond to him.
Batman can get behind that, right? The reckless slaughter of people.
He's all about that. And then we also, around the same time, invented Bane, who's also a superficial character at this time.
And slaughters people.
Who kills people, and he looks neat, and it's like Batman's entire world is being taken apart by brand new characters whose shtick is they look cool. What's funny is I remember reading an interview where Denny O'Neil was he was basically confronted with the thing where they're like, so they killed Superman and you were also destroying Batman, so you were just ripping off Superman? And he's like, no one in the Batman offices knew what Superman was doing. Like, none of us conferred or talked to each other.
Really?
There's absolutely no communication between those two offices. We just happened to do that around the same time. Now, I buy that. But killing Hal Jordan, or at least making him into Parallax, that was a decision.
Right.
And that was a decision because we know that there was like a poster they made that was like, we broke the bat, we killed Superman, watch out, Jordan! And you're like, whoa, 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 are all of these people gonna get their comeuppance for no reason?
Is this a theme at DC?
Yeah.
Where just
The seas
kill
will
everyone.
boil, Aquaman.
Yeah, exactly. And they did, they chopped off his dumbass hand.
That's right.
Sorry, I was eaten by piranhas, but he
Is it-
still
yeah.
lost his hand.
He lost his hand, yeah.
Yeah, and he went through a complete personality shift. So he effectively killed your vision of Aquaman.
Right.
What about the Flash? What did they do to the Flash?
Nothing. They killed him in Crisis while he took over, and then they just kind of left him alone. Now Flash did go through some shit, you know, but they didn't kill him or turn him inside out or anything.
They're like, we're gonna get rid of him in Crisis. We're gonna take care of the Flash. He's off the table.
We killed him way before we killed Superman.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Flash was the first sign that things were going to be bad. And Wonder Woman was deposed. They got rid of her. They replaced her with Artemis.
Oh.
So
So the whole Justice League got upended. Well, the whole former Justice League.
the
who
whole
wasn't
Justice
currently
League
the
that you
Justice
recognize
League.
as the Justice League, but in fact the Justice League that was the Justice League at this time were all lame and annoying anyway.
Right,
so
right. Did they do anything to them too? Did they like fuck up Blue Beetle?
yeah. I mean,
So it's just the age of like bad stuff happens to heroes.
yeah, I mean, like Doomsday broke Booster Gold's suit. That's the only thing that makes him special. So, you know, and he had to get a new suit, and he looked totally badass. That was a little later, but still around the same time.
Right.
It was actually around the same exact time because Superman smashed Doom. Yeah, no.
Yeah, yeah.
Doomsday smashed Booster Gold, broke a suit. Yeah, no, it's all. Yeah, they're just upending DC. Now that being said, like, that would have been interesting if it was like a plan
Right.
as opposed to just reacting to Image.
Yeah.
Just being like, oh my god, this third publisher is they're the number 2 publisher. What are we gonna do?
Oh, they're gonna have Doomsday destroy Superman like Image is destroying our sales.
That's it. Kill everyone.
Kill everyone.
just
What?
internalizing
yeah,
our
hit the
struggles.
button. What button? The kill everyone button at DC.
Yeah.
Wha-bam!
Oh, you don't want to read Superman? Fine, he's fucking dead. There you go. Oh, you want to read Batman? Broke his back.
What?
There, how you like that, readers?
What?
Maybe you should pick up a copy of DC, whatever,
Of anything.
someday.
You're not influencing me to read you now.
Actually, that's not true because they did that and they replaced him with Azrael. They gave him a ridiculous looking suit and everyone was like, yay! And they're like, you're not supposed to like that! That was a reaction.
No, we're gonna bring him back.
No, don't. Azrael Batman's my favorite Batman.
God damn it.
I love his
Yeah.
big gold chest and his stupid arms.
I was
like how
way
he
into
stands
Batman
out.
for
Yeah.
like 3 months when he was friggin' awesome, and then they
Right?
sent him back to being lame and stupid.
Yeah, that was so weak.
Look at this normal Batman. He's not even sharp.
Oh my god, I love that.
Yeah. Well, because Batman's like, I'm in Switzerland. Nobody knows who I am. Screw it. Well, because, okay, so Leha sees Biss and immediately becomes a zealot for Biss, and he's like, what's that, Biss? You want me to kill this guy? And the guy's like, what? So Leha kills that guy, and
Sir? So what are you doing?
yeah, so he cuts his head off, and he's like, yeah, there you go, Biss. All right, I'm doing it. And Alfred's going to freeze to death, so Batman's like, put my coat over your coat. And he's like, yeah, I will, but you'll die. And he's like, no, I'm wearing a Batman costume underneath. And the Batman costume that I brought was, like, made for Switzerland. So I'm good to go. It's got, like,
Just wool.
it's got internal heating systems in it. It's, like, wired for heat.
For sure.
So, yeah, you get to see Batman in aviators and his Batman costume.
Okay,
He just-
cool.
He just looks like a baller. This would look really
Yeah.
dumb, but it's drawn by Quesada, so it looks really cool.
Yeah.
I kind of really like it, and I was the person who was really like, I don't like seeing Batman not being Batman, which is why Spawn Batman is so great, because it's McFarlane drawing Batman the whole time.
Well, at the same time, he's also doing it just in front of Alfred.
Yeah.
It's not like he's in the middle of like a town in
No,
Switzerland.
it's
being
true.
like, well,
He
don't mind me.
He is rather cavalier about his identity while he's in Europe. But so Batman and Alfred are getting their bearings when the ground in front of them erupts in fire, and then a spaceship blasts out of it. They call it a hovercraft, but that's a spaceship. The spaceship belongs, of course, to the Order of Saint Dumas, and it's Nomos' spaceship.
What?
He's not an alien. It's just that the Order of Saint Dumas has so much money and influence and power that they can make these spaceship-looking hovercraft that Nomos, of course, has access to. So he shoves Azrael into his dad's Azrael costume, or at least
This
a
dude,
variant thereof.
this gremlin man, lives in Switzerland in a shack.
Yeah.
Like wearing a robe and has a cellar just full of like preserved bottles and jars of like probably fruit
And mead.
and all of the things.
Yeah.
He's got a freaking spaceship.
And a spaceship, yeah. So it attacks Batman.
I think if I was him, I would just live on the spaceship. Man.
Right. I feel like at least it has a shower in there. So
No, I prefer to bathe in the snow.
Yeah. So Nomos is like, you go kill him. And Azrael's like, that's Batman. He's not a bad guy. And Nomos like, no, he's a demon. Look at his face. Put on your face and fight him. So he's like, okie dokie. So he puts on his Azrael costume, and then you get to see Batman fight Azrael. Finally!
I've been waiting a whole issue for that.
That's right. Because that's why he was invented. Azrael was invented
to fight
to
Batman.
fight Batman.
Yeah.
That was the plan. This was originally going to be a Legends of the Dark Knight book, and there were things going on in that title, and they didn't want to do anything in the main Batman book, so they made a whole separate series called Batman Sword of Azrael just for this fight, just to introduce this character that was going to be a one-off. So Batman fights Azrael, and Batman is kicking his ass because he's freaking Batman. So then Nomo's like, use the sword. Don't forget the news. So then Azrael busts out the fire sword, and he's kicking the crap out of Batman, when then Nomos turns the tables on Batman and just flies the hovercraft at Batman. It's a great moment where Alfred says, Master Batman, watch out! It just wings Batman, and then they leave. Azrael and Nomos, that is.
Oh.
I love he said it's Master Batman.
Yeah.
Master Batman! Oh no! Joel said it!
I think people might figure that out if they're watching
I think they'll figure it out
you
if
call him
you're
Master
here.
Batman.
You're here! It's not like nobody knows that Batman has a loyal manservant named Alfred. Please. Any socialite magazine.
Bruce Wayne.
And like, he's on the cover of Butler Monthly like every freaking
Exactly!
issue.
Well, because he's the best one. It's him and Jarvis every year. So,
Who?
right.
Right.
He's some comic book character. So Azrael leaves the sword. Nomo's like, leave the sword, you don't need it. I'm
What?
sorry. Yeah, you don't need it.
Use the sword! There!
Leave the sword! Okay.
Well, you can't put it out, so don't bring it to my ship.
You
It's on
can
fire.
turn it off. Anyway, so Batman...
Wait, how does it catch on fire? Is that magic?
No, it's all electronics. It's all technology. He's got a hovercraft.
What, it's like battery powered? Where does the fire come from?
Technology.
Jets or something.
Okay,
Okay, here. The hilt is really big. It has like,
So, like, kerosene in
It's
it.
like Rain of Fire. You know how like the dragon, they're not dragons, they're just big lizards that shoot like kerosene out of their
Yeah.
jaws and then they ignite
Yeah,
it.
well, they're gigantic dragons. I could see where they could store all that fuel.
We
Where's
don't really
it?
get a
Where's
good
it go
look
in the
at-
hilt of the
maybe
sword?
maybe when he clicks a button, it like jets pop out and then
What if it is so
ignite?
incredibly hot, it
Why
gets
did-
like white hot and it just like ignites the air around it?
How does it get so hot though?
Batteries?
Let's see.
Right.
Yeah.
So it could do it for a limited amount of time,
Yeah.
and then it shuts off.
Well, they never shut it off. It's just that he turns it off.
I know
of his own volition.
that's kind of my point.
I know, I
It
know.
wouldn't work for that long, probably.
Probably.
Okay.
There. There's my answer. Kryptonite.
So Batman and Alfred go to the bunker that Nomos lived in.
Yeah.
Nomos, of course, is watching them from afar, and he's like, oh, excellent, they're in the bunker. And Azrael's like, why is that good? He's like, because it's wired with explosives, and I'm going to friggin' kill them all. Click. Then we cut to
What?
Biz.
Cut? No.
No, click.
No,
So
we'll
we cut
find
to
out what
Biz, and Biz basically becomes Biz, or Leha becomes
Leha
Biz.
becomes Biz. Mm-hmm. Like Biz, like infects
Wait.
his soul or whatever.
No.
So Biz was
No?
never a thing.
Well, he
No,
was
Biz,
like a.
Biz is the demon antithesis of Azrael in the made-up religious
in the
structure
order.
of the Order of Saint Dumas.
So he just becomes Biz.
Well, he's
Yeah.
like, I'll become like the agent of Biz. Like he's doing all his work in deference to Biz. So he's gonna dress like Dumas believes Biz looks like and do his bidding, or his bizzing, if you will. So then
Damn you.
we get two cool suit-up scenes where Biz dresses like Biz, and Azrael gets his new suit, which is the suit they wanted him to start wearing from the beginning.
Yeah.
And that's his baller outfit. And the reason why I said bail on the sword, by the way, is because he didn't need it anymore. He's got this awesome hockey glove that shoots a blade that catches on fire.
Oh.
And it can sustain the flame a longer period of time.
Oh.
So they did address the
They
fire
do
sword
address-
issue.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
and it's got a little jet engine
Yeah.
igniter right
And
there.
as you can
Yeah.
see, this thing is full of technology.
Yeah, and
So all
like
kinds
places
of,
where you could put fuel,
Right.
or batteries,
Yeah.
or whatever.
I don't understand the finger system on this glove.
What are you
So
talking
you mean
about?
how it only has three
This.
fingers?
Yeah, but like
You
why?
gotta hold your hand like that.
Yeah, at all times. Why?
You know,
What tactical advantage does that give you in a fight?
well, your pinky can do other stuff, and these two
Those are we don't need those. Eventually, evolution will friggin' make those go away anyway. Yeah.
They're really redundant. Maybe it's easier to armor it if it's like fewer things.
I have a theory. I think it looks cool. And it's easier to draw.
You've seen a normal glove before. You haven't seen a glove like this.
Nope. And you know what? When I was a little kid and I read this book, it did look cool. And I loved it. So, mission accomplished.
Looks
Do you
cool
remember-
and easier to draw. It's
Yeah.
win-win.
Do you remember? Of course you remember. Spawn Batman.
Yes.
So
I have 5
the power
copies.
gloves that Batman has.
The same
The
thing!
fingers!
Ah!
Exactly.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's weird.
Well, having tried to draw hands recently, I could tell you that
They're hard to draw.
they're hard to draw, so I get it.
Well, that's why cartoon characters have 4 fingers.
Right.
Actually, there's too much complication going on when you're drawing
How come Biz has so many pouches?
because it's 1993. So
It's fuel. It's more fuel for the flaming sword thing.
no,
No,
Biz
that's
doesn't
Azrael.
have.
Biz
sword.
has
No, Biz.
pouches. Does he?
Azrael's nary a pouch.
Well, he's got a belt with like
has a
crap
belt.
on it.
Wow.
don't know what
These golden shoulder pads. He puts that right onto the new Batman suit.
Yeah, he just takes them off. Where do you think he gets them?
Yeah, just takes them right off this
What?
stupid suit.
What
What are those?
are those spiky things coming off his shoulders?
Well, those are like his cape.
Yeah, they're like they're an accent for the cape.
Okay.
Mr. Sinister has them, so it's cool looking. It's
We wanted to steal it for our book.
just cool looking.
I
That's
guess,
all they're doing.
Yeah, so that explains why they call it the angel, because it does look like he has wings.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And he is the avenging angel for Saint Dumas.
Yeah.
That's what.
the people who saw him fall into the prey didn't know that, though.
No,
They were
but
calling him
Nomo
the
still
angel.
calls him an angel.
Well,
yeah.
oh,
They do call him an
interesting.
angel though. Well, he is the angel of Saint
Oh,
Dumas.
so the public and the media just happens upon a correct name for the guy that they have no idea who it was.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah. Convenient, you might say.
Okay.
So
He's still wearing glasses?
He had the helmet on, the
it
glasses
wasn't
underneath.
really.
It's just like, put your helmet down. It's like, boom.
yeah.
Maybe get some contacts, Azrael.
Well, he was just pulled into this.
Yeah.
He didn't have time. You know how long it takes to order contacts? Like 2-3 weeks. It's bullshit.
Plus, like, this is back in like the early 90s.
Yeah.
Weren't they like hard glass at that point?
They were not hard glass. I had them back then, and they were harder to. They were not as versatile as today.
They
but
weren't as good.
They weren't as good.
They weren't as common.
No.
More people had glasses.
But they certainly used them in the comics for convenience. So Nomos explains to Azrael who Leha is, how he was the treasurer or whatever for Saint Dumas, and he betrayed them. That's why, his dad was dispatched to kill him. Meanwhile, Biz is like, hey, I'm going to conveniently enough believe in the demon antithesis of my order that I betrayed so that I can then fight it and be the bad guy of the story. So that happens. Batman and Alfred have a baller time in Nomos' bunker. Alfred finds food and preserves and makes a fajita for Batman.
Oh.
And Batman says, "We're in Switzerland, Alfred. Why didn't you make anything with chocolate in it?" And Alfred's like, "Because it's a fajita." So,
Alfred, how many times am I in Switzerland?
right, very few. Like,
And every time I'm here,
I have
I
chocolate.
always get chocolate.
Yeah.
You know this.
you know this.
Master Bruce, chocolate is not part of a well-balanced diet. This fajita will keep you energized and
Ready to go.
ready to go.
Ready to Batman
Yeah.
for hours.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You can have chocolate when you eat your entire fajita.
Right. Who's to say if I found chocolate or not? But yeah, Batman eats it and he goes, maybe chocolate was a bad idea. And Alfred's like, no, I'm starting to think maybe there could have been a thing, like a chocolate fajita. I think I can make that work. And you're like, what?
And Alfred invents
What are we
Malay.
doing? What's
Yeah.
happening?
What's happening? What are you doing, Batman? Like, we're doing a little bit of business.
Well, Alfred has to do something. Our helicopter shot out of the air.
Well,
and
we needed
you almost
4
got hit by a
issues.
hovercraft.
We're in
I gotta cook something.
Switzerland. We
Yeah.
need to remind you that you're in Switzerland because right now you could be anywhere.
Yep.
We could have been in the mountains of Colorado. Look exactly the same.
Oh, that's true. The reason why they're not dead is because Batman mentions that like the place is wired to blow, and Alfred's like, "Why aren't we dead?" And he's like, "Because the wire was jostled loose by the explosion from the bazooka. I
Oh.
presume, but I discovered it and I saw it was a little loose. Yeah, if it hadn't happened, we would be dead.
Oh.
So maybe there's something to the Saint Dumas after all. Like there's a couple of conveniences that happen. Batman doesn't believe in it. It's more he was being cynical. But like there are multiple things that happen throughout the story. Like Leha should die in the helicopter crash, but Biz saves him. So, or at least that's how Leha interprets it.
Right.
Because Nomos should have killed Batman, but they didn't die. Azrael's kind of like, well, does that mean that Saint Dumas saved them? Like, is that
Right.
part of the deal? And so there's conveniences that take place throughout the story that imply, like, maybe, like, there is some cosmic assistance going on.
Right. Okay.
They do make a point of saying, however, that, like, Saint Dumas was never a saint, and no one ever acknowledged it. So, like, it's in name only.
Right. We call him
It's
Saint
made
Dumas.
up.
Yeah.
We call him that
to like
because
justify the horrible stuff.
It's just
that
the
we
name of
do.
the order.
yes, it's
Yeah.
just the name of the order.
You got to
but,
have a
like,
saint. You got to name your order for a saint. None of them were available because we're not a real order and we're horrible people.
Right.
So we just started calling a guy a saint.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Nomos and Azrael go to meet with a member of the Order of Saint Dumas, basically to like try and save everybody who's still part of this organization. And no one will take Nomos' calls. I don't know why, but no, the reality is Biz called ahead to everyone and said, like, don't take any calls. Like, the Order's in jeopardy. You gotta wait for me to get there.
Because I'm the treasurer.
Yeah. So they
Like, I'm
believe
still
him.
in good standing, right?
Yeah.
So like only Nomos and Azrael knew
that
he
Biz
was
is the betrayer.
that he was bad,
I guess.
Yeah,
And I
that
guess
Lehi's.
Heinrich,
and Heinrich.
but he's dead, so.
So no one ever thought to tell the other members that, oh, by the way, the treasurer is a bad guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I guess
So-
Azrael was going to kill him, so it didn't matter.
Right.
But at the same time, like, wouldn't you tell everyone,
No,
like,
you-
hey, this is a bad guy, we're sending Azrael to kill him?
Yeah, I would do that. I'd send that in the newsletter.
That would
at
be a
least.
good idea, yeah. Or maybe after Azrael got killed, maybe then I would send something being like, hey, Azrael's dead, the treasurer is a bad guy, don't take his calls.
Yeah, but
No,
they don't.
I'll bring it up at the next meeting.
Yeah, exactly. I just printed up the newsletter. That'll come out next week. So
I don't want to have to go over the minutes again. It's a pain in the ass.
so they go, so Azrael and Nomos go to a hospital because one of the members was in the hospital for unrelated reasons.
Oh.
So they're going to go get him there because they also know that, like, Biz is hunting down everybody. And, of course, Biz shows up and he kills everybody. But they discover Biz, and Biz shoots Azrael in the chest with his, ill-gotten weapons that, of course,
Yeah.
he was trafficking in the first place,
Right.
and blows him out the window. Not unlike his father, actually, but
Yeah.
unlike his father, he was holding a duffel bag full of his Azrael costume, which is newer and more durable, and as they make a point of saying later, was folded over a couple extra times because it was in a bag. So that's why he's not dead or even hurt, really.
Okay.
So Azrael gets blasted out the window. So Batman is like, I'll go figure out what happened with the window and everything. So he jumps on an ambulance, goes up the wall and into the hospital. He's also like, I'm not in America, so no one will care. Like, no one will know that I'm Bruce Wayne. I'm wearing aviators. So he just jumps up
He
and
almost looks like Superman here, too.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like a cross between Superboy and Superman.
There's
because of the
several
hair.
times in comics where I think Bruce Wayne looks a lot like Clark Kent.
Well, he is a strong man who has dark hair
A
and a
square
chiseled jaw
Yeah.
and has a cape. So yeah, Biz is gonna shoot Nomos.
Oh no.
But the gun jams.
Yeah.
And then he makes his way. And he hightails it out of there. Batman chases after him. Nomos is like, this isn't your fight, and then trips Batman.
What?
So Batman tumbles, but of course recovers,
Yeah.
and then chases after him into a room that is full of ether or something, and knocks over a shelf of hazardous chemicals.
Okay.
Batman, of course, is stronger than all that. He blasts out of the cabinet that fell on him, so he looks awesome.
Yep.
But he's also covered in ether, so now he's starting to hallucinate. And so Biz starts to morph into a big monster, or
Okay.
a demon, if you will. This is to justify the cover of this issue, which of course is a cool demon hand killing Batman, which is a really awesome cover,
It is
but also is
awesome.
completely unjustifiable if you
Because
don't
it
have...
doesn't happen.
Yeah, because it doesn't happen at all, as
Well,
opposed
also,
to
like,
every other cover.
there's not an actual demon.
Right, but Biz is working for a demon, kinda, so...
No, it's not. The demon doesn't exist. It's not real.
But maybe
Well,
it does.
maybe it does,
because
or-
he survived. So, but now Batman's seeing a demon because of the hallucinations.
Right. It's kind of like he's fighting Scarecrow and he's got the fear toxin.
Yeah. So, but because of that disadvantage,
Yeah.
Biz has
Gets
the upper hand, kicks his
sure.
ass, and then like drags him out, and then like loads him up into an ambulance and starts to drive him away. Batman jumps out of the car.
What?
And
I'm amazed it just doesn't kill him.
yeah, no,
he's got
no, he's got
a-
plans for Batman.
Yeah.
So Batman
Yeah,
escapes.
Biz told him.
Yeah, right.
Plan.
It's part of a plan. He doesn't say if it's Biz's or not. In any case, his name's Biz too, so don't get confused. But Batman escapes long enough for Alfred to try and help him. Biz knocks over Alfred and then reloads him into the car and then drives away.
Oh my god.
He then
Just like, get out of here, Alfred.
yeah, and Alfred's like, no, yeah.
Oh.
So Biz makes sure to inject Batman with like sedatives to make sure he doesn't fight back.
Okay.
Nomos kidnaps Alfred and makes him drive them away.
Because Nomos' legs are too short to hit the pedals.
Yeah, it would be comical to see him drive. So Azrael's in the back seat because he's unconscious from the shooting.
Right.
They get out. They go to a safe house. Azrael wakes up. They reveal the reason why he didn't die. Biz, of course, has Batman, and they've strung him up, and Biz is like, Biz is a demon of like lies and deception. So he's like, I'm going to continue the tradition of lies and deception that Biz wants me to be. So he tries to extort Batman's billions out of him by basically interrogating him and getting him to give him like his account numbers and stuff because he's still like a jerk who steals money.
Right, okay.
He also, of course, uses like...
What does Biz need with money?
Well, because he's a jerk. Because he's not really a demon.
Look, first and foremost, I am a treasurer.
Yes. This is not the... Yeah, exactly. This is not the devil of Saint Dumas.
Yeah.
Nor any other devil.
I'm sorry, Saint Dumas?
Dumas?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, he's not betraying the Order. He's trying to recapitalize the Order.
Right.
This is all part of his plan to
Yeah.
help the Order by stealing from Bruce Wayne.
I think it's more like undermine it and then take control of it. Although he does want to kill everyone within it. I think his plan is he's going to steal everything from the Order.
I see.
Because, of course, they're sitting on like millions of doubloons or whatever from the Crusades or... Anyway, so Nomos is like, okay, so the old man helped us out. Now kill him. And Azrael's like, no. What?
What is
You
your
wanted
problem?
me to attack Batman? You want me to kill... I'm starting to think you're not really a good guy.
Right?
When
Nomos is a
did I
dumbass.
ever say I was a good guy?
Right. I didn't. I didn't say you were a good guy.
I said you're an avenging
angel of my order.
of the Order.
Of our made-up cult.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the role you play.
This was like, oh, I am in over my head.
This sucks.
Yeah. Leha meets up with another member of the Order and then, of course, assassinates him.
So
Leha...
we're down to 16 now.
We don't need to kill every single one of them. Just trust me, we get through it. But Leha uses his like military or weaponing contracts to get this dude who is able to provide him with a black market truth serum that no one else has, and uses it on Batman. It doesn't work, and Batman instead, like his brain is trained against interrogation and truth serum, so he just like repeats nursery rhymes at him instead, which is kind of fun.
Okay.
He then explains like, I was learning mind control from funny-looking old men in faraway places with strange-sounding names far away when you were like a boy. So try something else. So Biz threatens to like stab Batman. He doesn't tell him, and he's like, really?
Go ahead.
Yeah, like
stab
it's
me.
not gonna work.
It would be something better than what you're doing right now, which
Right.
is boring me.
Meanwhile, Nomos and Azrael and Alfred have all teamed up, and Azrael uses his like computer skills to deduce, thereby revealing that he is the world's greatest detective, or he will be. That if Biz is moving west, then they can trace all the people in the Order, and they can intercept Biz and then stop him. So they need to go to like England or whatever. So they do. But this time, when Biz goes to kill the member of the Order, he dresses as Batman.
Okay.
Okay, sullying the name of Batman.
Interesting
Yes.
twist. So now you get to have Azrael and Batman fight again. So it's not really Batman, but it's a guy who's dressed like Batman.
Yeah, basically.
So it's still going to look cool.
Good.
So while
we have
Biz
to
is...
turn the page.
Yeah, who doesn't love reading a comic book like this?
Awesome. I mean, it does look cool.
Other than the fact that like you've ruined it because there's a giant seam in
Well-
his
well-
midsection.
Well, yeah. Because even issue 3, all these issues are have perfect binding, so it would be hard to do that anyway.
Yep.
Anyway, so Alfred and Azrael wind up at the same estate as Biz, as Batman is killing their
Once
member.
again, they're all in the same place at the same
Yep.
time.
Azrael springs into action and just slaughters all of the people who are there defending their own member of the Order because that's his job. He kills a dog, he kills these guys.
Though they're in the way. They're trying to stop
And
him.
Alfred's like, this is horrible. And Nomo's like, no, he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. Shut up, old man.
All
Feel
these
like
people
we're not-
work for you.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, but that's what he's supposed to do. That's what he does, man. So then,
I'm sorry, he's slaughtering members of the Order, though, or like people who work for members of the
Yeah,
Order.
well, but they're trying to stop him. So
yeah, they're trying to stop. They're trying to get in his way. He needs to show them that he's like a badass who murders people. So when Azrael happens upon their dead colleague, he's like distracted by how dead he is, and so Biz as Batman gets away, and then Nomos is mad at Azrael for like letting him get away. And he's like, "That you don't save people. You don't try to rescue them. Your job is to kill people. That's all you do.
Right.
That's your whole deal."
Yep.
So then, they figure out. Oh, they basically deduce that like rather than continuing to globe hop throughout Europe, there is another member of the Order who is in Texas. That Order member was Leha, so they go there because he owns like a refinery or something there, and that's of course where Leha's gone and brought Batman. And
I like that on this globe hopping trip, he just has Batman chained up.
yeah, Batman is barely in this book, so. He's got Batman chained up. He's wearing.
It's a ruse, right? Batman's just like, I'll let you take me to all these different places.
More or
I
less.
could get out of these handcuffs in like 3 seconds.
I want to believe that's what's happening. Because
I
otherwise,
would hope so, because this guy is super lame, and the
Yes.
fact that he's got Batman over a barrel is egregious.
Yeah. So
All right.
so Batman is chained up. Biz is dressed as Batman and is like, flaunting his victories in front of his face, and he's
Yeah.
talking about how.
Yeah, I'm killing the Order of Saint Dumont. You can't stop me.
Right.
Like, okay, I don't really
Yeah,
care.
and he's talking about Biz and how he's like the god of deception and all this other crap, or
Right.
the demon of deception and lies. And then Batman is like, you're dishonoring your god by wearing my outfit because you're wearing the outfit that represents the demon that I worship. And he's like, what, you worship a demon too? And he's like, yeah, but maybe because I've made you question your own loyalty, like Biz thinks that I'm more of a fit avenger for him than you. And yeah, he's like,
Okay.
yeah. And he's like, you're just saying that to confuse me. And he's like, does that mean that because I've just confused you that I'm the agent of Biz now?
Oh my god! What are you doing? No, 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 no,
Yeah,
no, no.
exactly. But I love that Batman basically just like, so your religion's stupid and one-dimensional. Let me apply one logic question to you and
Right.
completely destroy your entire resolve.
You have a fallacy right here.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
right.
Shut up!
So he's like, shut up, I'll kill you. And then he's like, okay, well that's fine. I'm gonna friggin' like burn you and mess you up, and I gotta do all kinds of messed up things to you to show my resolve and to show that I'm sorry to Biz. And then he leaves, and Batman's like, my little mind game may have backfired. Like I may have made him more of a lunatic. So Azrael busts in looking like a badass. Biz is taunted by Batman to charge at him with a knife. Batman, of course, brings him in and then kicks him in the chest and knocks him over. And as they battle, Azrael shows up, and Biz is shooting, Azrael's setting fire, and of course, because they're in an oil refinery,
Everything
goes up. They're surrounded by fire, and Nomos is there with Alfred, and he's like, all right, excellent. Watch the infidel burn. Let's do this. And Azrael's like, no, we got to go save Batman. He's like, nope, your job isn't to save anybody. You're a murderer. And he's like, no. Azrael goes in. He cuts Batman free. Batman grabs his Batman costume, and he's like, this costume's fireproof. I need this.
Yeah.
Azrael picks him up and brings him out of the fire. Biz is enveloped by flames and dies.
Oh.
And so then the whole place goes up, and we're left with our intrepid band of cool people like Nomos, Azrael, Alfred, and Batman. Nomos is outraged by Azrael's kind of betrayal of his role. He's like, your
Right.
job isn't to save anybody. And I assume it's because like once you save somebody, then you're gonna know how good that feels and how you're gonna think you can save people.
Right.
Like, it's way
It's going to
easier.
distract you from the job of killing people you're supposed to kill.
Exactly.
This is the end of the book?
So he says, you disgraced the mission as an angel of vengeance. And Azrael takes off his helmet and says, I am not an angel. I am a man. My name is Jean-Paul Valley. That was my father's name too. Retcon, no, it wasn't. Your father's name was Ludovic. Moving on. Like what? Like that's the last moment of the book.
Yeah, he gets a cool line, and it's
And then
negated.
we undermine it entirely by for no reason.
He just looks like an idiot.
Yeah, that was my dad's name. Actually, your dad's name is Ludovic.
Oh.
What?
Oh,
Oh, well.
well, it's my name still.
Shut up. Shut up. I'm trying to look cool.
Shut up, Nomos. I'm trying to look cool for the Batman.
Aaron doesn't know that. Shut up.
You look like a fool.
Yeah.
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 So
And
wait.
so, like, it begins.
There's still the Order of Saint Dumas, and Nomos still exists?
Yeah.
Do we see Nomos in whatever the hell you pronounce his fucking name
No.
in
Nightfall?
No.
Nightfall?
No.
Okay.
No.
Just
I don't
flashbacks.
remember him,
No.
so yeah. The art in this book is fucking awesome.
Right? It's totally dope. Batman looks awesome. Friggin' even Biz dressed like Batman looks cool. Like, it's
Yeah.
fun. I love the art in the story.
He's so expressive, you know it's not Batman.
Yeah. It's really cool looking.
But I also really like Biz's costume. Biz's costume looks like a freaking barbarian.
yeah, he does look like a barbarian. Well, he's homaging a demon in and of himself. So I like how cool he is because they don't even bother to put him on the covers. Like,
He does go in the back of the trade, though. So.
yes. Yeah. And you're like,
And
what?
he looks kind of like the Blue Devil, but he's not blue.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
he does look like Blue Devil. That's weird.
Yeah, it's the horns.
He's got those horns.
That's it.
Yeah.
Batman Sword of Azrael looks really cool. And so and it's short. So therefore it has value.
Yeah.
Like it created Azrael,
Which
you
know,
Great.
arguably some people really enjoy. Not me.
which is a thing that is liked by some people.
Yeah. Because Jean-Paul Valley, it's great because Jean-Paul Valley in this book, no personality. All we know are things about him.
Right.
Like his
He
dad
doesn't-
was this thing. He was a computer science major. Like
Right.
that's
He
it.
doesn't want to kill, but he does anyway.
Yes. And how much
Isn't
that was
he a
the
deep
system.
character?
No.
Oh, so he's like a guy
Right. He's just a person.
who feels bad about killing people, like anyone would.
Right. And his dad gave him hypnosis not because Jean-Paul Valley was like perfect and a specimen of Saint Dumas. It's just because he had a kid, and he's like, well, my
This is
cult
the
says
thing
I
that we
gotta
do.
make him do this.
So
No,
I
it's
guess
been
that'll
passed
happen.
down from generation to generation.
Yeah, there's something there. The art's so awesome, and
It
you're
is
never going to see
really
Joe
awesome.
Quesada draw Batman again, so you might as well enjoy it. Plus, it
Yeah.
wouldn't be nearly as good today as it was then. This is the height of Joe Quesada's art. So
Yeah, it is great.
you get to see really cool. Yeah.
Most of the book doesn't take place in Gotham.
No,
Yeah, you get something different.
but you do get all the stuff. Like you get Gordon, you get Alfred, you get Batman kicking ass. Not a lot of it. First 2 issues, maybe 50% of the book.
Yeah. No, it's more an Azrael book.
Yes, it's about introducing Azrael, which is ironic because Azrael isn't really a character. He's more of a plot
Yeah,
device.
he's almost on every panel, but he still has no
I
personality.
also find it odd that Denny O'Neil said that Azrael was created as a villain for Batman to fight, and he's not at all. Like
He
straight
does
up
fight
not.
him in this book.
He does fight him in the book, but even
That's
then,
like a crossover.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's exactly.
Well,
a
we have to
crossover.
fight each other. That's what
Yeah.
people are paying for.
This is like a Batman Azrael crossover,
But you've
except
never
it's the
seen-
first appearance of Azrael.
yes, like finally we get to see Batman and Azrael fight. Who?
I like that this kid, whatever his freaking name, Jean-Paul,
Jean-Paul. Yeah.
essentially like he's a computer science major.
Yeah.
He
Or
likes the
whatever.
Beatles. He's wearing a Beatles
He does
shirt.
like the Beatles.
Yeah.
And yet the second he gets a taste of power, he's like, oh, okay, no, this.
Well, it's-
all the time.
Well, it's like brainwashed
Yeah,
or whatever.
Alfred implies that he's not really in control of himself when the system kicks in.
So he's like fighting this thing that's like buried in his brain.
Yes, and that's his journey. Like
Yeah.
that's why he and Batman like team up, and why he gets to be in the employ. He becomes like the head of security at Wayne Enterprises or something like that. Like Batman, like I'll keep you close, I'll help you train. That's
Yeah.
how he loses his flab, by the way, because it's like no one was like, well, the mountains will take care of that. Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Uh,
We only had like
under
3
attack.
hours.
well,
in
you
the-
know.
you had like 2 days. I'm
Tell you
sorry.
what, get used to kale and steak because we're going on Atkins, bitch. Like, I don't know, but it's but Batman's training helps him, and also he like works through the system, like he works out the system
Right.
throughout his entire run when he's subbing in for Batman and when he eventually takes over for Batman. Robin and Alfred keep referring to the system, and Jean-Paul's like, no. And then eventually, of course, he completely descends into the system and
Right.
becomes a complete idiot.
Ultimately, Batman fails
Yeah,
to like
save him.
save him from himself.
But then, like, he doesn't because
Well-
he keeps operating as Azrael, Batman even makes
Right.
him like a new Azrael costume when the city falls apart. We'll get there. That's another big.
Damn it.
That's another big Batman book. That's a good one though. It's just
It kind of undermines the end of Nightfall.
Yeah, but like Nightfall undermined the end of Nightfall. Like it shouldn't have been that long, and it shouldn't have ever happened. Like,
Right.
Nightfall is a really cool 3-issue arc.
I like the idea in Now we're talking about fucking Nightfall.
No, but
I
Nightfall is cool.
I like the idea in Nightfall that like Batman is done, and he's like, this guy will carry on my legacy. Crap,
He
can't.
failed.
He failed. He
Yeah.
sucks. He can't do it.
Right.
Because it's like really friggin' hard.
Well, he's got all
And
the
he's
wrong missions
unstable.
in his head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like I like it because in that regard, it's like normally I'd pick Dick or even
Right.
Tim, but they're not here. Or Tim's 15.
Right.
And Dick doesn't want it. Or more important, it's like he's like a father. He's like, yeah, I would love for Dick to take over. He doesn't want to be Batman, and I'm not gonna force it on him.
Right.
So I'll just make a hasty, terrible decision and choose the next guy. And the next guy just happens to be this lunatic I met a year ago.
Because I already tried the Alfred plan.
Yeah.
And,
It doesn't work.
yeah, you're not gonna get nearly as many years out of Alfred as you are with Jean-Paul.
As you could with Jean-Paul.
Maybe.
Jean-Paul's Batman 2.0.
Yeah.
He's the next. He might even be better than Batman.
Yeah.
He beat Bane after all.
He's more like Batman Vista.
Like, you came out, you had a couple upgrades, but eventually you were a failure.
Well,
You need to replace it.
Yeah.
Eventually-
You thought it was going to be the next big thing, and it turns
Its
out it was
obsolescence
garbage.
was apparent within the first few issues.
Yep.
So check it out. I'll put it in the description if there's a more contemporary copy you can pick up. But otherwise, I got this for like $1, so you can find it everywhere.
Nice.
But yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Another episode of Back Issues. Thanks a lot for watching. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
So long. So, I was reading an interview with Denny O'Neil. Like they were asking him all these questions about like this book, about Azrael and everything.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, I got to tell you, like halfway through the interview, he goes, I don't really remember much of it because right after this book came out, I had a heart attack, and like most of my memories from that time were defibrillated out of me.
Oh, shit.
And I think the plan was they were going to kill Azrael, but the editors at the time thought that a character that I created dying around the same time that I might die would be in poor taste, so they kept him around.
Whoa.